Scene Goddess, The Wrath of the Fonz. Smokepit Fairytales Part 2. Chapter 3. The Judgement of Putin. We didn't get happy suits, but that was just as well. As cold as it was, when we got moving, we built up a sweat. The sleeping systems were warm enough for the night, and we moved throughout most of the day. We didn't really go to the field. We were away from the barracks out in the woods, but we had aluminum Quonset huts to sleep in, and they gave us hot chow for breakfast and dinner. The first night in the field, I laid in my sleeping bag on the concrete floor of the bivouac, just warm enough not to involuntarily shiver. As I dozed into slumber, I found myself dreaming I was running in formation with Lovis Glaveline, Gunny Chanceworth, and Satin Sheets. I don't know why Satin was in the Marine Corps in my dream, but you know how dreams are. We were all in our green shorts and shirts running through the Pendleton Hills. My throat was raspy, and as we ran, my cough grew more steadily. I fell out of a formation in which I was the only male. Nightmare already. Satin and Glademoine kept running, and Gunny Chanceworth waited for me at the top of the hill. When I reached her, she asked me if I was okay, and I told her yes. We ran about 50 more yards, and I started to vomit. I couldn't control the mushroom soup escaping my mouth. The stomach acid burned through my teeth, and they fell out. But then, there was a sharp pain in my head, and new teeth grew. Long, sharp fangs. Chanceworth put her hand on my back. I twirled around and clawed off her face, killing her in one strike. Then, in my dream, I watched Satin and Gladewine run. They stopped, saying that they thought they heard a scream. I stalked up close to them through the brush and stood on top of the hill, looking at them as they stood below. When they saw me, they turned and ran in fear. I sprinted after them and tackled Satin to the ground. I started choking her and eating her hair. Gladewine found a stick and tried to hit me. I grabbed the branch and broke it with one hand, then stabbed Gladewine in the chest. She fell to the ground and a pool of blood soaked the sand around her. Satin was screaming. I couldn't tell her to be quiet because my mouth was still stuffed with her hair. I picked up a fist-sized stone and smashed her skull. I woke up to someone saying, "Wake up, bitch, fire watch," to the Marine sleeping beside me. I tried to go back to sleep, but couldn't. The next morning, I stood in line for chow with Eclair and Doc. In the field, Marines eat by order of rank, lowest to highest. Eclair had picked up Sergeant, so we were both in the middle of the line. I had a dream about Gunny Chanceworth last night.
I'm sorry, dude.
Eclair said in disgust.
Wet dream?
Doc joked. No.
That's not funny, Doc. That chick is so haggard, it ain't even funny.
She can't be that bad if Hank's having dreams about her.
Doc smirked. Nah, dude, it's bad. I shook my head.
Yeah, she looks like someone tried to make a Mr. Potato Head out of wet Play-Doh.
Gross.
Like, this chick is so fugly, I bet that her pussy has cleft lips.
That's fucking disgusting.
Doc turned his head away from the food trays.
I don't even know if I want to eat anymore.
I looked at Doc. Dude, you went down on a hooker and you think that's gross?
Wait, what?
It was before our first deployment?
I was going up to see this mama-san in Orange County at this massage parlor. I'd go to see the same chick every weekend. I was just destroying my wallet, but eventually I started talking to this chick that I'd see every weekend. It got to the point where I'd fuck her for free while she was on the clock. And I would get into it. I'd eat her ass and everything.
You were given a hooker rim jobs?
Yeah. But anyway, I told this chick that I was going to marry her and take her away from this fucking life of prostitution and take her home to Oklahoma and end her story like a fairy tale. So the day finally rolls around and she comes to meet me at the courthouse. I don't show up in time and she starts calling me. And I didn't pick up because by the time the date comes, I'd been in Afghanistan for a week.
Dude, that's all kinds of fucked up. Oh my god, that's terrible.
We had our breakfast scooped onto our recycled cardboard trays. The eggs were one massive greenish-yellow clay. When the cook scooped them out, it stuck together like expired Jell-O. I couldn't verify that the sausage tasted like cat turds, but they looked like it. We sat down with our backs to the huts. We weren't allowed to eat inside the living area. The wind wasn't bad that morning, but we still had on our beanies and warming layers. The weather had been messing with us since we got to the field. Towards noon, it would warm up just enough to melt the snow, and the rest of the day we'd have to trek through mud so deep and almost reach our knees. Then at night, it would freeze and snow about a foot. The ground would be full of rock-hard ditches that were camouflaged by the loose, powdery snow. Doc saw at least 5 Marines a day for rolled ankles. I finished my meal and lit a cigarette. So have you heard of those space cruises? Eclair's eyes lit up.
Yeah, they look fucking legit, but they're expensive as shit.
I'm supposed to go on one when we get back.
What? How the fuck are you affording that?
Penelope's parents hooked it up, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to go.
Why not?
Because Penelope's gonna be pregnant as fuck.
Aw, that bites!
Well, maybe you'll get another chance?
Eclair put his tray on the ground and pulled out a pack of Reds. It'll probably be good to wait. I read that they're starting to use all that virescent technology to terraform some of the moons around Saturn and Jupiter and Mars.
So if you wait 20 years, you can go visit them.
Yeah. Eclair and I got our gear together and linked up with the Fox Company. We marched a few miles into the hills to an assault course where we met with the Latvian Army Company. The course was crude. There were a few blown-out concrete buildings whose only purpose was to be shot at and cleared. Between the buildings, wood pallets were constructed into obstacles. Latvian soldiers and the Marines took turns tearing through the course. We would be doing the same thing for 3 days, only on the third day, we were to use live ammo. We ran through the mock village, trying not to rip our feet off in the divots hidden under the snow. Eclair and I only ran it once, then we started taking photos and video of the event. First Sergeant DeLeon told us that we weren't marching back. The AAVs had made it to the area and we were going to get a ride. We were excited until 45 minutes after the tracks were supposed to show up and we were still standing in the snow. One of the Latvian soldiers came over to our company and held up a soccer ball. He smiled and tried to ask,
"Football?"
Nearly an entire squad of Marines shrugged and met a group of Latvian soldiers just outside the assault course. They dropped their gear and ran around on the unforgiving terrain, kicking the ball back and forth. The Latvian team was kicking our ass.
This blows.
Fonz lamented from the sidelines. I know, man, it's fucking cold. My dick crawled back up inside my body. I got a total mangina right now, I said, shaking.
No, bro, this game.
Oh, I looked at the men running around the field. Well, they're all white.
Huh?
I mean, that's cool for Latvia, but we got a bunch of Mexicans here. I don't know why they're not out there stomping these motherfuckers.
Bro, that's racist.
Am I wrong? Fonz sighed and took off his jacket.
Rios, DeLaGarza.
The Marines shouted back.
Yes, Sergeant.
Yes, Sergeant.
Drop your shit, we're going in.
Yes, Sergeant.
Aye, Sergeant.
I rubbed my arms in a vain effort to keep warm. Now who's the racist?
I'm Salvadoran, bro.
Same difference. Fonzie muttered something in Spanish and ran with the other 2 Marines to the field and started turning the tide. They kicked around the ball, hooking and weaving for about 8 minutes in the falling snow. The score was tied and the players all stared each other down. First Sergeant DeLeon yelled at the Marines playing soccer.
Get your shit! The tracks will be here in 2 mics.
The Latvian soldier picked up the ball and smiled. The rival teams shook our hands and dispersed. We loaded onto the tracks and drove through the ice and snow back to the camp. Fonzie, Stevens, Eclair, Doc, and I stood outside the hut smoking cigarettes, waiting for the chow hall to open.
So what's the deal, man? You're gonna stay in?
I don't know, man. I don't know if I want to. I mean, sure, if there was a war going on, but this peacetime Marine Corps bullshit is fucking stupid. I'm gonna put in a re-enlistment package, and if it goes through, awesome. And if it doesn't, well, then fuck it. I'll go be a stay-at-home dad for a while. My wife already makes a shit ton more money than I do, so I'll take care of the kid and let her go back to work.
That's all kinds of fucked up.
Well, here's the thing. The military's downsizing because nothing's going on and Congress is too fucking stupid to acknowledge that they have to bulk up every time there's a conflict. They're kicking out all the war vets because we're too hard to handle and Headquarters Marine Corps sees us as dangerous. But instead of having the ballsack to say, fuck you, you're fired because you're not being a drone and blindly following bullshit orders like a good little boy, they're just making it ridiculously hard for sergeants to stay on. And the sergeants nowadays, us, are the generation of Marines that, grew up in a war zone. Stevens said,
I feel you, bro. Those faggot admin and supply fucks get all the time in the world to pick up, and Marines with jobs that actually do shit are getting our shit pushed in.
Yeah, and they're fucking treating us like shit, and all their priorities are all fucked up. Like, a fucking 4-deployment 9-year sergeant can't get a housing allowance, but they'll pay for your fucking sex change?
They won't do that.
Dude, look it up. They've done it for like 4 people already. All of them were like chick to dude, but they're getting Uncle Sam to pay for it.
Yeah, it's like the breast implant thing.
Eclair defended my argument.
That's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, but fuck it. Where I stand now, my kid will be born before I get out, so I won't have to pay for it. And then I'll put in a package and make it look like shit, so, they deny it and they'll have to give me that $50,000 severance package.
At least it's a plan.
Stevens lit another cigarette.
Yeah, but that medical shit's a real thing, man. That's one of the reasons I joined.
I joined to fucking kill people, but go on.
I'd been dating this chick since high school, and she got some weird fucking bone disease that we couldn't pay for. So I joined the Marines and married her. She spent about 4 months at the Naval Hospital, and now she's almost better. Whole thing's working out.
The whole thing's working out with your whole thing?
Yeah, ha.
Lance Corporal Rios came running up to us from the other side of the huts.
Sergeant Palacios!
What, Boot?
Fonzie demanded when Rios came to a halt.
Bama got stuck to the water bowl.
What?
He was drinking water out of it and got stuck.
Fonzie had a confused look on his face and rolled his eyes.
Alright.
The troop of us followed Rios over to the water bowl. I never understood why they called it that. It was a big metal water tank on a trailer and looked nothing like any kind of animal, especially a bull. The spigot on the back had a Marine's lips stuck to it. When he saw Fonzie, his eyes grew wide in fear. Fonzie crossed his arms and glared at the poor Lance Corporal stuck in the metal water tank.
What the fuck is this?
Bama tried to reply.
Are you supposed to be drinking water straight from the bull? That's the only water source that the fucking company has, you stupid fuck! And now we're all gonna get your fucking germs!
Fonzie took a deep breath.
I have half the fucking mind to just let you fucking stay there overnight.
Bama shook his head and pleaded.
No, it's fine. The rest of us can just eat fucking snow. We'll hydrate off that.
Bama's eyes started to water.
Pull yourself off.
Bama tried pushing. His skin stretched and he relented.
Hey, Doc, how do we get this guy off?
Doc kneeled down next to the young Marine.
You already tried pushing water and spit to your lips to get yourself loose?
Doc inspected the situation up close and stood back.
Well, cold water isn't gonna help. We don't have any way of getting hot water.
I got it.
Stevens walked up to the bull, whipped out his dick and put it above Bama's lips. Terror filled Bama's eyes and he ripped himself off the spigot. He fell to the ground, but half of his lips stayed attached to the bull. Bama looked at the line of blood leading to the bull in shock.
You stupid motherfucker.
Fonzie glared at Bama.
Rios, clean Bama's shit off the fucking thing and don't let anyone get fucking water until Doc says it's okay. Bama, stand the fuck up.
The Lance Corporal jumped to his feet and stood at parade rest. There was enough of his mouth missing that his teeth could be seen.
I've got him, dude.
Doc took the Marine to the medical tent.
Come on, kid.
He's probably gonna have to be sent home.
At least to Germany.
Fucking stupid fuck. Hank, was I that fucking retarded when I was a boot?
I don't think we had time to be that stupid when we were boots. We were too busy trying not to get killed. The day of the live fire assault course rolled around. Before we went to the range, we packed our gear and stowed it in the tracks. We were going to go straight back to the barracks from the field that day. The dog and pony show started. A company of U.S. Marines and Latvian soldiers worked side by side, bounding through obstacles, firing at the green plastic targets that popped up along the way. Most of the exercise went off without a hitch. None of us really thought it was anything spectacular, but the group of officers watching us all had hard-ons. The general for the U.S. Forces Europe and most of his staff were watching us from a tower behind the course. Our regimental commanding officer and the battalion's XO and CO and all the sergeants major all watched alongside a handful of foreign officers. The assault ended and the officers ordered us to circle around them so they could tell us how awesome we performed. I guess they didn't realize we had been doing the exact same thing for almost a week straight, move for move. It was warmer on Pluto and we were all wet from lying in the snow. I don't even remember what the general talked about. I just remember wanting him to shut the fuck up. We were dismissed and we loaded into AAVs and headed back to base. I sat on the hard metal bench in the back next to Eclair and Stevens. AAVs weren't as loud as helicopters. You had to yell to talk to anyone, but at least the sound wasn't drowned out.
Did you see that Army Staff Sergeant up there?
Yeah, man, she had some big old titties.
They probably had that giant blue vein running up the top.
No, but seriously! I want to make a shower that rains KY jelly and just rub my dick in her face. I'd hit that so hard that whoever pulled me out would be declared the next King of England.
If I wasn't married, I'd wrap her titties around my neck and let her be the big spoon and find a cave to hibernate in for the winter like a bear. Those things were huge. I'd be okay with using her like a tauntaun.
Dude, being an attractive female in the military has to suck. Just imagine being surrounded by a bunch of sex-deprived maniacs Those chicks have to know that everyone that sees them wants nothing more than to fuck them in the ass.
We got 4 days of liberty that weekend in Doggerpools. I didn't really let loose and go wild like I would have when I was younger. I was content with getting a few souvenirs and postcards for people, then finding a hole-in-the-wall bar and getting drunk while I shot the shit with Doc and Eclair. I didn't feel the need to go causing trouble and chasing women. I had a woman back home and I didn't feel the need to cheat on her either, unlike half the other assholes there. We found a pub that looked like it used to be a house. The walls were gutted out of the middle and the bar was placed over a hardwood floor. The bricks were probably originally red, but over the years of constant smoke turned brown and black. Why can't there be anywhere in America like this? I lit a cigarette.
You mean smoking inside?
Eclair asked. Yeah, I mean, it's a fucking bar. I'm not here to make good decisions. Let me fucking smoke.
As much shit as they get, third world countries are usually pretty awesome.
Yeah, but Latvia's not really a third world country. It's old Soviet. I think that makes it second world, right? Eclair was staring over my shoulder.
You guys ever listen to Donna El Rey?
Sure.
Why?
Eclair pointed behind us.
She's on TV.
Doc and I turned around. The volume was down, but we could tell she was singing. Her hair was flowing over a thick fur coat. Her eyes sparkled alongside giant diamond earrings. The camera cut over a bunch of people in black tie attire. Is that President Menelaus?
Yeah. Is that his wife?
I think so.
Goddamn, dude. I wanted to turn around and grab my beer, but my eyes were fixed on the image of the First Lady. If you took Satin's face, Penelope's attitude, and Kennedy's body, the Franken woman would only be half as beautiful as the woman on the TV. That is honest to God the most beautiful woman I've ever seen a picture of.
Yeah, man, she's hot.
How have I not seen her before?
I don't know. How much TV do you watch?
I don't. Just movies. Cable's fucking expensive, man. I stared at her until the camera cut back to Donna making sweet lyrical love to the microphone. And what's her name? I'm gonna Google that shit when I get service. Eclair thought for a second before saying,
It's something stupid. Helen von Troy Menelaus.
Huh. I grabbed my beer. That sounds familiar, I guess.
Maybe you heard it on the radio?
Yeah, that's probably it. We got up and sat back down at the bar to be closer to the TV. We asked the bartender to turn up the volume and ordered another round.
Dude, look at that. They're sitting with Putin.
I can't believe that guy's still around.
Doc sipped his beer.
Look at the flags behind them.
Behind the president and the first lady and the few other people in tuxedos and evening wear that we didn't recognize was the Russian flag, the stars and stripes, and the Latvian colors. I waved the bartender down. Hey! I pointed to the TV and then down at the bar. Are they here? The bartender looked at the screen, then back to me and said something in Latvian. I pointed back to the tube. Latvia! The bartender nodded.
Ah, da, Latvia.
Riga? I tried asking if they were at the capital. The bartender shook his head.
Dagapools.
Holy shit, dude. I smiled to Doc and Eclair. They're like, here, dudes. We kept watching the TV and drinking. Putin and Menelaus both got up and gave short speeches, smiled and waved. We missed out on what they said. The broadcast was dubbed over in Latvian and the subtitles looked Russian. Doc raised his glass.
Here's to peace and tranquility in our region. May there forever be content in the nations we both call allies. Blah, blah, blah. There's no new Cold War and the US and Russians can go to bed tonight dreaming of each other's cocks in their mouths.
I wonder what the fuck this is about. It's gotta be a pretty big deal.
I grabbed my beer. I don't know. Maybe they have a mutual friend getting married and this is just the reception and they hired Donna El Rey to hold security.
Why would Donna El Rey be a bodyguard?
I meant sing. I filled my lips with a cigarette. The evening went on. One shot showed Putin laughing with Helen and a few other women. Putin had his hand on his chin like he was considering a world-changing decision, even though he was laughing with a group of beautiful women. One of the women looked like she made a joke and used her breasts as props. Putin laughed and handed the woman an apple. The channel showed random clips and shots from whatever the event was happening for about another hour.
It turned out that it was a wedding reception.
Doc said, pointing to a shot of a woman in a long white dress and veil.
Yeah, but who the hell's getting married that this many important people are there?
No clue.
The program ended and we drank until we forgot how to speak English. The bar closed at 1, which was okay because our curfew was 02. That was just enough time to catch a cab back to base and rack out. The warmth from the alcohol helped me fall asleep in the cold barracks under the snow.
Hey everybody, thanks for listening to another chapter of My Dog's Fucking the Couch.
Alright, stop fucking the couch. Stop fucking the couch.
Anyway, thanks for listening to another chapter of this book. As always, if you don't want to wait for me to read all these to you, you can just go read the books yourselves. They're on Amazon. There should be a link below. Or if you want to get them all at once, you can get the war chest, which is the first, well, it's not all of them. It's the first 6 of 9. Nice. But 10, 11, and 12 are coming by the end of the year. Not the end of the year. I don't know why I said that. Should be coming by beginning of next year. No promises, though. So that's the thing. Anyway, I meant to do at the end of this video like a comment reading section from between, the stuff here and the stuff on friggin' Spotify, but I recorded this chapter like 2 weeks ago, and then I had a crazy last week, so, well, maybe not crazy, just busy last week. So I'm just trying to get this video out right now. So maybe next week? We'll try for next week. Anyway, I'd like to thank the cast, of which I had a few people on this one. What chapter are we on? See, I know I got Chuck LaVoki playing Doc and Dan Brady playing Eclair. Should have had Travis Weidemann playing Fonz. That's my furnace being on. I got Eric Pickle playing DeLeon. Dyllan Dzielski playing Stevens. I got Jacob R. Silvia playing DeLaGarza. Kai Huber playing Rios. Kai Huber playing Rios. I got John Q. Haskall playing Bama. And I guess while we're on that, shout out to the 3rd Canadian Ranger Patrol Group. Stay frosty up there in the Great White North. Also, I'm pretty sure I had someone else on here, but my notes look like chicken scratch, and I did not do a good job labeling how I edited this. This is why I try to have fast turnover with these things. All right, anyway, thanks for tuning in. And I'd like to thank everyone who's gotten a war chest and everyone who's supporting me over on Patreon. And then over on Patreon, you get these as I get done with them, as where it's, kind of like a scheduled thing over here. And I think that's it for now. I'm gonna get working on the next one. All right, here's your bloopers.
Scene 2. Marines at a bar, watching a political event on a bar's TV.
Yeah, this is the part where I remember losing my shit here.
Yeah. Yeah. She looks like someone had tried to make a fuck.
First Sergeant DeLeon yelled.
Everybody gave some pause, and yeah, there's cuts in there.
Yeah, as long as I can get enough space.
Sorry for not giving any more time there.
Yeah. I'm gonna put in a re-enlistment package, and if it goes through, fuck, dude. Oh God, there's snot everywhere. Oh God, fucking damn it. Oh man, I fucking bukkakied myself.
Latvia.
I got it!